The first step from residential to commercial real estate could be a scary one. And many investors like to transition from investing in single-family homes to multifamily apartments because this seems like a logical approach. Also, it's a type of an asset class that everyone can relate to because at some point we all have rented an apartment for short-term or long-term. Now, if you are considering to invest in multifamily apartments and if you're curious to know more about this asset class, stay tuned. So what is the makeup of a multifamily property? A multifamily property is a type of real estate asset class that is typically classified under commercial real estate. It is popularly also known as apartment complex. These are properties anywhere from Class A with luxurious views and the best amenities to Class B properties, which are older properties in rough neighborhoods. Now, these property types are made up of multiple residential units, and then there are some common areas like gym, business centers, parks, recreational centers, pool, etc. that are meant to be shared by the tenants. Have you ever wondered who owns and operates these type of properties? So these multifamily apartment complexes are typically held under large public companies or private funds. And the general partners who raise the money from limited partners or passive investors like yourself to buy these properties and then manage them with the help of management companies. So let's find out how a multifamily property differs from a single-family home and what are the different types. First, multifamily properties offer economy of scale. The cost of maintaining and managing a single unit in a multiple unit building is generally lower than the cost of maintaining a separate single-family home. Additionally, the income from multiple rental units can help offset the cost of any vacancy period in individual units. Now, multifamily properties can also provide a steady source of income. As long as the units are occupied, the investor should receive a regular rental income. Additionally, multifamily properties tend to appreciate in value over time. They can also offer a hedge against inflation, and the cost of living increases over time, so do the rental prices. So this means that even if the economy is not doing well and other investments are not performing well, your rental income can have the potential to increase. Finally, the demand for rental housing is generally strong and consistent. So as the population grows and more people opt in to rent rather than buy, the demand for rental properties is likely to go up, and you will potentially have a steady return on your investment. Now, there are several different types of multifamily properties, so let's get into each type. Number one, suburban apartments. Now, these are typical suburban apartment complexes with 2 to 4 stories, usually wood frame sort of construction, and the unit count could vary between, say, 50 to 500 units. They're also called as garden-style properties. So these suburban communities, they have various lifestyle amenities, what I mean by lifestyle amenities are places where people can live at the same time share some of the spaces. So you have units that are typically rented out, and then you have common spaces, for example, pool, park, fitness centers, recreational centers, business centers, which are shared by the tenants. So you might also see dog parks or even children playgrounds in certain communities. Number 2, mid-rise apartments. Now, when you start getting into some of the urban areas, that's again when land square footage is going to be a lot more important, and builders are going to start building vertically versus building horizontally. So that's when these mid-rise apartments come into play. These type of properties are typically 5 to 9 stories, steel frame construction, and they are much closer to the center of the city. Usually, these unit numbers would be somewhere between 50 to 200 units, much lesser than a suburban type of apartment complex. And it all depends on what is the height restriction in this specific city. Now, these will have some amenities, but they are going to be light on amenities as compared to suburban type because space is going to be limited and the tenants will have to pay a premium due to proximity to the downtown. Number 3, high-rise apartments. They are central business district apartments. Those are 10-plus story apartment buildings with steel frame construction, and they are in very urban areas and close to the heart of the city. Now, these typically have anywhere between 150 to 500 units and usually are Class A apartment buildings, which often cater to high-end renters. Now, these type of buildings are often going to be offering full-time security, high-end fitness center, rooftop decks or rooftop pools, and certain additional services that goes beyond the basic utility for a living space. So these high-rise apartments have these luxury offerings, and they are right in the heart of the downtown. Again, the renters are willing to pay a premium price because of the location and the additional amenities for their use. Now, overall, multifamily is one of the favorite commercial property types among investors. But before considering to invest in a multifamily property, do check my next video in the series to understand the advantages and the risks before you decide to invest in this asset type.